The old character sheet.
Greetings and welcome, viewers. Sorry for the late start. I am your host and storyteller, Sylvanov. Thank you for joining us while we delve into the world of darkness with Vampire the Masquerade. The stream is intended for a mature audience and does contain mature themes that may not be suitable for all viewers. The game revolves around a dark horror theme and contains content that may be an emotional trigger for some audience members. Please keep in mind that this is a work of fiction. The views and actions of the characters are not explicitly the views and actions of the actual players. At no time should any of the violence or horror portrayed in our game be attempted by anyone, at any time, for any reason. Please sit back, grab a drink and a snack, and join us on the shadowy path that is the world of darkness. And now, before we start, please meet and welcome our players for the evening.
Good evening. I am Raven, and I play Annabelle, the Nosferatu.
Good evening. I'm canadasamson, and I am playing Virginia the Toreador.
Good evening, folks. I am Phantom Trickster, and I play Sam Smith, the other handsome Toreador.
Good evening, y'all. I'm Sail. I'm playing Toon.
I'm Mitwad, and I'm doing Mr. Ezekiel White, Reformed.
That remains to be seen, Mr. White. My name is Mickey, and I play Major Delaney.
And good evening again. I'm Sylvanov, aka the Dark Druid, your host and storyteller for the evening. Annabelle, if you'd like to, you can do us a quick recap, or we can just jump right to it. It's up to you.
The recap is that last week, Major Delaney decided that winter protocols would be enacted on this domain. It is to be purged, cleansed. So let's start the show.
Purged and cleansed. Why does it sound like this episode should be named Roto Rooter?
Oh, we could name it the Purge of Prince William.
Drano.
So,
Prince William edition.
Again, we left off last week. Everyone had settled into the now makeshift temporary haven base of operations for the Major and his security company. At least making sure that the coterie is tucked away and mostly potentially out of harm's way or out of the line of fire, as it were. But I've never seen that happen with this coterie. So will that be the case this evening, or will we dump more fire back into the dumpster? I need everybody to make their rouse checks, please.
Success.
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 All right.
Failure.
Ooh, almost a perfect start.
Almost.
This close. This close.
Is anybody at hunger 3 or more? Okay. Nope. Excellent. The sun setting on yet another day in the world of Prince William County. Our coterie members, no longer in familiar surroundings, tucked into little makeshift hidey holes in the basement of the the Powell Contracting warehouse, where a mobile command center, points of communication, and such various sundry war preparations have been put into action by Major Delaney. Having decided, I think, that there's no saving in this domain. At least not entirely. Major, you are the first to rise.
I will go and check in with Sergeant Spears, make sure that the operations are up and running.
All the instructions that were laid out have been followed. Everything has been set up here in the equipment yard, at the warehouse. Runners have been established to take messages in a less electronic format if it's needed. There's been no communication as yet from anyone from the Ivory Tower or any of your contacts in that direction. You're not even sure if they've gotten the full measure of your message.
I will. Sergeant Spears, prepare a repast for me. I will be in one of the offices. Has one of the offices been set up as a command office?
Everything's been cleaned up, Major. There's
Fantastic.
3 offices upstairs in the office room that are available for use.
Fantastic. I'll be up in the central one. Send me something to eat, please. And after that, send a message to Primogen Fiona Griffin that she should tuck in.
We can do that. She should
Beyond
tuck in,
that,
sir. How would you
yes.
like me to say that? That sounds almost threatening.
Oh,
She doesn't seem to be the type of person
no,
that should be
Sergeant Spears,
threatened.
no, Sergeant Spears, I trust you in your judicious use of vocabulary to communicate my intent,
Of course, Major.
which is for her to get low, get safe, etc., etc. I assume you have the competence to deal with this.
Absolutely, sir.
Again, don't do it yourself. Send someone else to deliver the message. Delegate, Sergeant Spears, delegate.
Of course, Major. Of course. Him and Annabelle, the sounds of muffled voices in this small space are easily discerned. It sounds like the barkings and utterances that you've gotten used to hearing the cadence of Major Delaney when he's talking to his subordinates. And that's what you can safely assume is what you're hearing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up and be about my business.
Popping out of the little makeshift apartment, it's not hard to notice Sergeant Spears walking in the direction of the stairs, heading up out of the basement and away from the Major's door.
I'm looking for the other guard, the survivor.
Oh, so you're going to go about actually looking for him.
That would be Mr. Moore.
Okay.
I'm just looking to check in with him.
Okay. So off you go looking for Mr. Moore. Annabelle.
Annabelle unfolds herself from wherever she had hidden herself away for the day. Stalking out of her hiding place, she's going to go to Mr. White because it is always best to keep an eye on him.
Okay. So not hard to find. You know, there's just a little bit of small rooms down here, enough for each person. The kind and such are sequestered elsewhere, where they've gotten some pavilion tents set up for personnel to be accommodated for. So yeah, Tim, do you knock? Do you just go, or I'm sorry, not Tim, but Zeke. Do you just knock, go in?
Annabelle's just going to go into the room.
Okay. Zeke.
Is this during my dream?
Well, we haven't had any kind of premonition yet, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, I didn't know if that thing that
you are pulling awake from your day sleep. The air pressure changes as the door opens. If you snap up or come out of it, Annabelle is stalking into your little cubby room.
I will give her a glance. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. White. Up and atom, as they say. We
Yes, ma'am.
have work to do.
Yes, ma'am. Right away. Do you require sustenance?
No, but you do, Mr. White.
Yes, ma'am.
Annabelle will proceed to cross the space to him and present her hand to him.
He
Okay.
will do the ritual.
And Annabelle, you will gain a hunger, coughing up the necessary vitae to effectively double down on the blood bond that you've had building between yourself and Mr. White.
That would be 5 steps.
Yes, we are at step 5.
Woohoo!
Good job, Mr. White.
I'm really
Now,
playing.
Virginia and Sam,
are you...
the two of you are rousing from day sleep. The myriad of sounds that are beginning to fill the place get your attention. You hear doors opening and closing, muffled voices, people walking up and down the hallway.
I think my first step would be to actually seek Sam out to keep fulfilling the order from the major.
You both
By
have
continuing the bond.
an adjoining room, so as you exit your
So I'm
room,
going to walk out. Yeah.
A quick look to the right, and you'll see Annabelle disappearing into another room. You see Tim heading up the stairway up into the warehouse proper and disappearing, intent in his step. The major is nowhere to be seen. And there you have it. Knocking on Sam's door. Or barging in. Or kicking
I'm
it
going
open.
to knock politely. Definitely knocking on the door.
Because if nothing, we are polite. Sam will slowly wake up from his sleep, rubbing his eyes. Who is it?
Miss Stone.
You can come in.
I'd rather not. Quick parting gift, then I have to be on my way.
Fair enough. He gets out of bed, walks up to the front door of his temporary room, and unlocks it and opens it because he forgot he locked it before he went to bed. And he looks at it. Good evening, Miss Stone.
I'm not going to say much. I will present my wrist, though.
I nod and I partake.
All right, Virginia, you will gain a hunger. Sam, you are effectively one more step bloodbound to Virginia.
And at that, I am going to say good evening or good morning, I guess, whichever, and off I will walk. I'm going to just be looking around, I think, getting, I guess, acquainted with my surroundings.
They're sparse, not exactly inspired. It's very tactical, grays and whites. Very Spartan rooms. There's no
Not as
luxury down
robust
here.
as I would expect, especially from a Ventru.
You know that you are encamped in the basement of a warehouse. It's evident everywhere you look, and it's annoying.
Oh, yeah. He needs a decorator. Yeah, I'm just going to be wandering around looking for action of some sort to get into.
And that brings us back around to the major. The opening and closing of doors is evident. There's people up and about. You've sent the sergeant on his way to take care of tasks The voices of the coterie are beginning to fill little snippets of conversation here and there.
Sergeant Spears, please have the coterie join me in the office, please.
Once you Major, your sustenance has been arranged.
Brilliant. And I will get up and I will go see to that. Doing what I do.
The sergeant stops near the end of the hallway, raises his voice a bit. Major Delaney requests your presence in the office. Kind of announces it.
I will head to the office.
And turns and walks up the stairs to the main floor of the warehouse, adjacent to the offices, as he scurries away to go and do what he does.
And I will also head to the office as well.
All right. Major, when you finally make your way to the office, you'll see Virginia and Sam are making their way up the stairs, and they're ahead of you. When you guys get to the office, it's exactly what you remember, but it's been cleaned of body and blood smears on the floor. It looks almost as if it's never happened. There's not a speck of blood anywhere. No sign that anything untoward had occurred. And
Virginia Stone would definitely maybe... Sorry.
The Major comes up behind you, heading in the same direction. There you have it.
I'm definitely making a point to look around as of looking for the blood. I'm definitely making a show of doing it.
Okay.
I'm afraid my men are quite gifted at their duties, Miss Stone. You will not find much in the way of evidence.
I will look coolly at the Major, at his voice.
But rest assured that Mr. Shepard's effects are being seen to, as well as last wishes being tended to. I have you, I have Mr. Smith, where's Mr. White, Mr. Toon, and Miss Annabelle.
Tim can be seen walking through the warehouse looking at people.
Who?
Tim. He moved out before anybody else came out. Sorry.
I'm still looking for Mr. Moore.
I think I saw Miss Annabelle entering a room, which I assume to be Ezekiel's, so they are probably together.
Yes, after hearing the meet in the offices or whatever, Annabelle would have started heading that direction, even if it was a little bit slower than the others. So,
and Mr. White is, I assume, following her. So, for all intents and purposes, you all moved to the office and we're all together. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could about give her the right of way in.
So,
okay.
As much as,
with the exception of Tim, yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't need a brew hall for planning anyway.
Ooh.
Before we get started, good evening, Major. I forgot to greet you when you walked in.
Yes, Mr. Smith, good evening. So, first and foremost, I must apologize for the accoutrement we currently find ourselves in. This is, for all intents and purposes, our home for the foreseeable until I receive word that we can go about business. Your Primogen, Miss Stone, has been warned as well to expect visitors coming into the domain to deal with the infestation that is so rife in this domain. What we're going to discuss here and now is what it is you all want for your futures, because things are going to change very soon. And we, being kindred, must be abreast of the times. To that end, Miss Stone, have you chosen a
Yeah.
name for your club?
I do believe I would like to have a conversation with Fiona and get her input, as she is a
Very well.
partner.
Mr. White. Oh, before I forget. After the exterminators have done their tasks, I encourage each of you to remember and learn in their entirety, Mr. Smith, the traditions. Because no more will there be any leniency in their interpretation, nor in the execution of the punishment therein. Am I clear?
Yes, Major. And I accept any punishment I was given if I messed up the traditions at
Did
all.
I ask for anything other than a yes or a no, Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. White,
After
am I clear?
he answers, yes, Major.
Very good. I do hate repeating myself, so Miss Stone, Miss Annabelle, if you could relay those words to Mr. Toon when he arrives. Now, Miss Annabelle, is there anything that I need to know about before the exterminators arrive?
I don't know, Major. I do have some questions for the sheriff, but she will probably be indisposed shortly.
Yeah. If you have questions, make that known to the teams once they get here, and I'm sure that they can help accommodate you. Yes?
Perhaps.
Wonderful. Miss Stone,
Yes.
is there anything you need before the exterminators arrive?
Anything I need. Well, my primogen is taken care of and everything I hold dear is gone. So no, I would say not.
Everything you hold dear is gone. Fantastic. It's good to divest yourself of useless baggage. Mr. Smith,
I have nothing that I really need, Major.
except for the continued beneficence of your regnant.
Other than that,
Wonderful.
Major, nothing.
Wonderful. Mr. White, is there anything you need before the
Yes, Major.
exterminators get here?
Yes, Major.
What is it?
My false identity papers.
You had them already? Refresh my memory.
Yes, they were left behind in my underground compound.
You won't be needing that identity anymore, Mr. White. You will have a new one made.
Yes, Major. Then, at your behest, nothing more needed.
Sergeant Spears,
Who is away doing things That you
who's
asked him to do.
closest?
There's random security personnel doing their thing. You can pick a random guy.
No, I'll just tap on my earwig and say, Sergeant Spears, please, again, direct Mr. Toon to this location and let me know when you've delegated your instructions to your teams.
Absolutely, Major. Tim, looking around, you do end up finding Mr. Moore,
Mhm.
the unscathed Mr. Moore. He is near the front of the warehouse, kind of talking to a small team at the door, or near the roll-up door. They're moving in and out. They seem to be being officious.
I'm just looking to check in on him. Make sure he's doing all right.
He issues a couple more instructions to someone before turning to you and gives you his attention.
Everything all right?
Tim, right?
Yes. And you are Mr. Moore, correct?
Yeah, Eric Moore.
Pleasure. Just, checking in on you. Little rough morning. So,
Yeah.
thought I'd make sure you're doing all right.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough morning, but yeah, we're doing okay. That doesn't happen often. I hope you don't. Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned that. That's really what I wanted to know. So thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn and head to the office.
As you turn, you can hear a bit of commotion outside the warehouse that seems to get Mr. Moore's attention quite quickly as he takes a couple of paces and heads right outside.
I'm going to roll wits and awareness.
Sure.
Ooh.
You have a little bit of hypervigilance
My
going
whole
on.
pool. Good God.
The little bit of commotion and him exiting the building quickly draws your attention. And as you gaze out and past and out into the darkness, you notice up near the gate that leads into the warehouse yard, there's a couple of people, and now including Mr. Moore, arguing at the front gate.
Interesting. I'm going to book it to the office.
Okay. So you turn, and as you do, Sergeant Spears kind of stops you and relays the Major's request that you join them again in the office.
I didn't hear the first one. I was, already out.
Oh, no, the first one was down in the hallway underneath where he announced to everybody. Just kind of raised his voice.
I had already booked
shouted.
it to look for Mr. Moore. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm on my way.
Excellent. The Major's expecting you.
Very well.
All right. And a couple moments later, Tim Toon opens the office door and joins the rest of you.
Good evening, Major.
Toon.
Some commotion at the entrance.
Sergeant Spears, report.
Major Delaney, we seem to have someone claiming to want to see you and your guests.
Have they introduced themselves?
Sort of. She says her name is Kyla Lupo.
Who is Kyla Lupo?
The Nosferatu Primogen.
Very good. By all means, I'll be down presently to meet with her.
Excellent, Major. She's kind of insisting to come in.
Oh, yes, that I will be escorting her in. I'm going to do this properly. Just
and you
tell
can
her
hear
that I will be with her presently.
Saying that you would be along presently. And
I will move with a quickness to get there as fast as possible. And once I get there.
So yeah, the Major books it out of the...
Do you want company?
I will be bringing her back here, so...
Very well.
You rush up, leaving the rest of the coterie in the office. Indeed, you get up to the door where they're now have escorted her inside the property to the door of the warehouse. Is indeed the Nosferatu Kyla Lupo, wearing disheveled, baggy clothing, trying to keep a low profile and engaging in very little conversation with anybody outside of Sergeant Spears.
And I will give a slight bow. Primogen, you grace us with your presence. Please, allow me to escort you in.
Oh, honey, you know who you're talking to, right? You can do away with the niceties. Politeness is all good, but you know who I am.
Yes, I do know who you are, and I will treat you according to your station, Primogen.
Where are my children? Like all of them. Are all the kids here?
Oh, if you follow me to the office, I'm sure things will become
Great,
apparent.
lead the way.
Very well. I will.
And sure enough, the Major and Kyla Lupo enter the office. She looks up, smiling as the best she can, giving each person eye contact. Hey, kiddos!
Good evening, Miss Lupo.
Good evening, Kyla.
Good evening, Primogen Kyla.
Good evening.
Primogen. Annabelle will kind of do a slight bow.
She gives you a little bit of a hand wave, tries to give you like one of those almost royal waves just to kind of suit
Hand, wrist, wrist.
everybody giving up kind of respects. And she just
wrist,
kind of
wrist.
grins to herself as she takes it all in, looking at each person and trying to gauge their present state of mind. She looks very critically between each of you. Her eyes a little bit sharper than normal. What would you say your body language is projecting, unless you're trying to deceive Kyla? She is definitely pricking you apart with her eyes. Yes, Sam?
No, I was waving back and
Okay.
said greetings. That's what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. If you wave back like that and you give her that royal, she's going to skittle right up to you and just kind of address everybody else while putting an arm over your shoulder, Sam.
Mm.
So I hear you've all had an interesting evening.
Well, the evening has just begun, Primogen. May I ask what the purpose of your visit is? Respectfully, of course.
Oh, you can ask respectively, of course. But yeah, I'm here because we all need to talk because I'm hearing things.
What would you like to discuss?
What'd you tell Lucinda?
I told her my report.
Care to share with the rest of the class, Major?
Well, as I'm sure you know, Primogen, a member of the Nosferatu gives the information away at a price, and only a fool refuses coin in the face of one of your clan.
You assume you have coin.
I have the information you desire. That is my coin.
She kind of squeezes Sam on his shoulder and kind of gives him one of those taps on his chest as she kind of snickers a little bit. Okay, I'll play. To answer a question that I already know the answer to, what is it you want out of me, Major? Let's see your coin.
If you already know the answer, then why do you ask, Primogen?
Well, you of all people should know why we do things like that. We like to hear people say the right things. Because it means they have an understanding.
I do have an understanding. A very keen understanding.
And she continues to cast looks, and she kind of saddles up, has her arm on Sam.
And I would very much appreciate if you know what's coming, that we get down to the brass tacks and ensure that not only you, but those you deem worthy are cloistered and safe.
She lets go of Sam, turns, and lays her back over the desk in front of him. kind of looking back up at him almost playfully. It's a rather odd display as she continues conversing with you all. She is clearly going out of her way to make Sam uncomfortable without even saying a word.
And Sam just let it all slide, hasn't said a word. I don't think said was greetings, and then he just let it all happen. That's it.
So, we all know you sent up some big flags recently. And you sent them straight up the flagpole as high as it would go. You didn't stop anywhere along the way to talk to anybody. That's not always wise, but hey, kudos to you, Big Balls Major. But yeah, the tower's got your message. I've heard their response. Have you?
Primogen, now is not the time for coy games.
I'm just wondering if you've gotten their response yet.
And why is that important to you?
Everything's important to me. I'm gathering by the blank look on your face and your pausing and hesitation that you haven't heard back from the Justicar's table, have you?
I think you are mistaken in the nature in which information flows. Information flows up, not down.
No, information flows up. You're absolutely correct. And then orders are flown down.
And we wait patiently for said orders. It is the nature of service to hurry up and wait. Luckily, we are what we are, and waiting is not a problem.
Not for you, not at this moment. As she looks around at everybody, gives Sam Smith yet another little hand gesture and a coy wink. And she continues to languid on the table. Annabelle, darling.
Yes.
How do you like the Major?
The Major is efficient.
Do you think so, Virginia? Tim? Sam? Zeke?
I just smile at Kyla.
I smile as well, not saying a thing.
I give Annabelle a look of permission to speak.
Keep it brief, Mr. White. Be smart.
Kyla listens to the interchange between Annabelle and Mr. White, and it immediately gets her attention. She pulls away a little bit from Sam, still on the table, rolls 2 inches over on one side, and kind of lays crossways on the table, now looking at Zeke and playfully giving him smiles.
Yes,
you've done
Major.
wonderful work, Annabelle.
Yes, Primogen. I do believe so. He says no more.
She sticks a finger out and plays with a curl of your hair, Zeke, while she continues talking to Annabelle.
I let her do her idle business.
Where do you see yourself? Oh, in 48 hours, Annabelle?
That depends, Primogen. I suppose what I would really like to do would be running down some traitors to the tower and tearing them to pieces, but we can't always have what we want.
Which traitors would you love to do that with? I'm curious.
I'm not too picky, Primogen. I just wait until I am told to kill.
Okay.
Imogen,
She
is there
rolls over facing you.
anything else you wish to discuss?
Oh, plenty, but I'm still waiting for you to at least do me the courtesy of answering my question.
Please restate the question. As to whether or not I had heard from my superiors or not.
That's correct.
I am waiting for word back.
See, it was a simple question, was a simple answer. Why did it take so long? Mr. Officious?
Because you are who you are and I am who I am.
Yes, and we are all who we are all. Oh my God, this conversation has gotten boring. Miss White. Mr. White. She rolls back over.
I'll acknowledge her look.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Imogen,
Yes, dear.
I apologize if you find the conversation to be dry. Unfortunately, as you well know, boring is how the tower likes it. Perhaps
Yes, but you're
these
not the tower,
activities-
are you? And this isn't the
No,
tower
but I
table,
am-
is it?
No, but I am here in an official capacity, and I would appreciate it if attempts to throw gasoline onto the fire were mitigated.
Oh, throwing gas on the fire is y'all's job, not mine. And you guys are, let me tell you, absolute experts. Bravo. You all have been nothing if not entertaining.
I'm very glad to have been entertaining for you, Primogen. And, well, yes, previous indelicacies need to be dealt with. I firmly believe that betwixt Miss Annabelle, Miss Stone, and myself, we can wrangle the more indelicate activities of these individuals.
Kyla does a odd roll onto her back, throwing her feet up and over her, almost a small pirouette before landing and sitting on the table in front of Tim. Tim,
Imogen.
you're a pretty solid guy. I got a hot tip for you.
Uh-huh.
Your buddy, Walt,
Uh-huh.
he's awake
Buddy
and
is-
pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured he wasn't
I don't know
gonna.
if you wanted me to whisper that in front of all these people, you know, because of the game of currency and coin and stuff that we're playing at the other end over here. But I thought I'd give you that one for free.
Appreciate the tip.
My pleasure.
Oh, that's interesting.
Man. Oh, she speaks and she turns. That's it? It's just nothing else? Oh my God, you all are
I'm not
taxing
sure
this,
quite what else
this
to
evening.
say.
She stands up. She kind of pirouettes way around and to each person at the table before heading towards the door. Well, the resident Archon will be by at some point to say something. I am sure he's a bit cranky.
Oh no.
Official Archon or one who uses the title without the station?
Oh, no. Damien. We're talking about Damien.
Ah, excellent. I was afraid you were mentioning him.
See, we didn't expect the major to go all pull the blue wire on us, but he did. And that kind of burnt some feathers around here. That's really what I came by to tell you, Major, is that you're making some people kind of hot. But I guess you do that. you're so quick to jump and as you say, pour gasoline on things and light it on fire before you know what's even going on or but hey, it's your job. You're muted. You're muted.
As you say, Primogen, and as Miss Annabelle has alluded to, I am efficient. Part of being efficient is once one has the evidence they require to be decisive. I was sent here to do a task. I have collected the evidence that I require and made the decision I made. Now, it is up to my superiors to make the decisions they will make. If you have an issue with that, well,
not a one.
Brilliant. In that case, I suggest you acquit yourself appropriately, as well as any of your clanmates whom you wish to, and prepare yourselves.
You're so cute. I like you. You can stick around for a while if they let you.
Thank you, Primogen.
And she goes up on her toes as if a ballerina, goes into full plie, does a bow, and tiptoes, turning in circles out the door as you speak.
And I will tap in my ears. Sergeant Spears, see that she is escorted out with every courtesy.
He acknowledges you. And if no one else says anything to her, she will continue going.
I'm going to bid her a good evening.
We'll see you soon, Virginia, dear.
I silently bow, saying goodbye without saying a word, just silently bow. That's it.
I'm going to whistle off to see the wizard.
Excellent. She changes her steps to match your whistle.
I will look at Mr. White, just sort of glaring at him.
Annabelle is going to grab Mr. White's arm and grip very tightly.
The second those claws come into his arm, the whistling stops.
That is not behavior befitting of someone who wishes to be in the good graces of the tower, Mr. White.
I'm going to look at Tim. Well, shit, Mr. Toon.
Yeah, that Walter being awake is a problem.
Pretty inconvenient.
To
say
put it lightly. The least.
Yes.
No, more like pretty convenient for them.
Well, there is that. Oh yeah, I didn't get to tell the major that part of the story. So, let's see, where did I leave off? Can someone refresh my memory?
The blood is the bond.
Oh yes, after the Valderie, unfortunately, Soraka had issues dealing with that. And that is what started the incident at the farm. After said incident at the farm, a short time later, memory serves, it was over the course of several nights, eventually ending up at Miss Stone's club, the Haven Club, where I stepped into her office and was immediately transported, well, not so immediately, to the cave where we think the missing are located. It was during this time where I met our local Archon, Damien, who handed me a staked Fiona. I brought Fiona back, handed her to Mr. Costa. Mr. Costa suggested that we give her to the Tremere. He is my elder. We did that. Yeah. So later on, Walter and the sheriff came looking for Fiona. They set fire to Mr. Costa's business. As I was watching on the camera, they had dragged him out. Walter had sent the sheriff away. It was only him and Mr. Costa. He was taking him out back and about to stake him when I stepped in and staked him myself.
There was also a second man with a machine gun, Mr. Toon.
Yeah, I took a few bullets, saved Mr. Costa's hide. Not sure that was worth it at this point, but here we are. After which, we also took Walter to the Tremere for safekeeping and later judgment. But now he is awake.
And probably pissed.
Well,
Oh,
It's Walter. Of course he's pissed.
well, betwixt you, Miss Annabelle, and my men, I'm sure we can acquit ourselves rather well in the face of one pissed off Bruja.
Well, he is the Primogen. He's probably gonna have friends.
I don't know
Something
if you noticed. I don't know
to
if you
plan
noticed,
for.
Mr. Toon. And I don't know if you noticed, Mr. Toon, but we have friends as well. That being said,
Yes, Major.
yes, you all have images and dossiers on Mr. Quince,
Yes.
Walter Quince, as I believe.
Yes.
If you see him or any of his known associates approaching the compound, detain. If necessary, destroy.
Aye, sir.
I believe the intent of Miss Lupo was to dissuade us from courses of actions which are no longer within our control. To make us question whether or not the judgment was sound. Do any of you believe that my judgment was unsound?
I don't necessarily believe that she was saying your judgment was unsound or anything like that. I think she was relaying the information that there are those who are displeased with said action.
Well, yes, of course they're displeased. They're the ones who allowed the Sabbat to infiltrate this domain.
I'm
She was
also
very
curious.
non-partial.
Sect over clan. Excuse me. Clan over sect for the Nosferatu. Miss Stone, remember that always.
I'm curious if she was trying to imply that perhaps the answer was not what we were expecting.
What do you mean, Mr. Toon?
Well, we haven't heard what the answer is.
I'm sure Damien might have a thing or two to say.
Oh,
Our
I'm
lovely
sure.
Archon friend.
and it seems he's upset. What do you make of that, Miss Annabelle?
I don't know, Mr. White. That actually concerned me. That the Primogen seems to be compromised from what little I have seen and been able to put together. But I am more weapon than anything. So I sincerely hope that Damien has not been compromised. That would
His
cause
ire.
problems.
His ire might stem from his own plans that he and Kyla were obviously working on that may or may not have been thwarted. Just my thoughts.
When I was sent here, Miss Stone, it was not made manifest that I should in any way, shape, or form coordinate with the Archon during the adjudication process.
I'm not disagreeing with your methods at all, Major. I'm merely stating that is probably the source of ire in this situation.
Yeah.
Well, hand wringing is not going to get us anywhere. What are we going to do about the missing?
What are we going to do about Walter? That's a problem.
If Walter appears, he'll be dealt with. If you suggest we go hunting for a primogen, well, I'm not really keen to stick my head above the ground until after the...
Well, my concern, I think, stems from Walter nearly burning down the 2 silos, and that he knows where my place of business and where I usually hang out with various members of this very coterie. And I'm concerned that all of the money and time I have invested in my club might go up in smoke with the return of Mr. Quince.
You have insurance, don't you, Miss Stone?
Oh, I have insurance, but that doesn't take back all of the favors and things I cashed in to ensure the completion of this Haven Club.
Yes, but buildings can be rebuilt. So long as you're still around to do the rebuilding, I think that such temporary structures can be considered collateral. Does that point of view make sense? Or should I elaborate further?
You don't need to elaborate. I might need to. I cashed in a lot of favors to have that finished in the timeline it was because it was held up and stopped. All of those favors will be for naught if that club burns down. I get nothing from it. Years of building favors and currying favor with my own clan and other clans in this domain wasted.
I don't think that that's going to be an issue simply because the building is no longer there. You still control that as your domain, and what you choose to build there is what you choose to build there. And as far as I know, you and your primogen are still on fairly good footing. Therefore, I do not think it will be much of an issue. And again, so long as the building is insured monetarily, you're not out any money. The favors that you cashed in to secure that domain don't simply stop because the building is gone. That's
Oh, it is
still your
not simply the
domain.
building, but it is very true of you to focus on that, and I will leave the discussion as it is. My concerns still stand.
What do you mean by that, Miss Stone?
Exactly as I said. Discussion closed. My concern stands.
Stone, allow me to disabuse you of the notion that you're the one who dictates when the discussion is over. Please, explain yourself so that we may come to a mutually beneficial solution.
No, I see exactly what your standpoint is, and I see mine. I do not see a point in continuing if we will not budge. It is irrelevant and inconsequential this evening in the face of other issues. They can be discussed at a later date.
Is there something I'm not understanding about the importance of this particular structure? Is there some intrinsic? You had to cash in favors as well as monetary resources in order to get it built. Yes. Yes.
Yes, Major.
Thank you. Is there a condition that I'm not seeing?
No, Major.
We're talking about the same club that you've put blood, sweat, and tears into as well. And the Major is just flippant about it's just a thing. It means nothing.
The only reason Sam's not saying anything because the Major is right. It can be rebuilt. Lives cannot. That's why Sam has not said anything because the Major is right. He's not stepping in between those two in the conversation because it's not his place to say anything.
Walter's a prick, but he's not just going to burn it down. Not without any of us in it, anyway.
Asshole.
I've never put the burning down of anything past any brouhaha, Mr. Toon.
Fair point.
As an attempt to ensure that middle ground is met, I will send a team to secure the Haven Club, Miss Stone.
Appreciated. Thank
Does
you.
that assuage some fear?
Indeed, it does.
Brilliant.
If nothing else, it's a canary in the coal mine that Walter would be looking for us.
Indeed. And I will relay orders to Spears to have a 4-man team go and set
They're
up shop.
acknowledged. You can see him waving at people and a couple of people outside, and Major's orders are followed.
Please do not think that I take your concerns flippantly, Miss Stone.
I
That's
assume
just-
no such thing.
I just like to know all of the conditions that I must meet for success.
And I am just protecting mutual interests.
Absolutely.
You all like tossed your cell phones, right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
And nobody has
I
any
have,
kind of
one in March.
nobody's got any
I
kind of
mean-
communication since you've gotten down here to this.
I have
I haven't had a chance to check an email.
I have my mobile command center downstairs.
Right.
That has the communications. Yeah.
I have a flip phone without a battery.
You have two, actually, Mr. Toon.
Oh, that's right. I do have two without a battery.
I left my phone back at my place before the meeting at the St. Clair Estate, so he does not have his phone on him at all.
Okay.
If somebody is trying to reach us, they can reach us because
Word gets around.
Yes.
insofar as us having personal communications devices like cell phones, I would say no, please turn those off, get rid of the SIM cards, get rid of the batteries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Standards, SIGINT, considerations taken.
Absolutely.
SIGINT, Ellen, all of those.
Got
They're
it.
burners used for Ghoul communication only and encode.
Now,
I digress.
go ahead.
I'm gonna call down to my communications guy and just, has there been any word?
Other than our visitor this just a little while ago, no. Things seem calm, quiet, and proceeding as normal. We've got no indications otherwise.
Make sure security stations are checking in as per appropriate protocols. Calm. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Pointing
Mitch.
out. Calm before the storm,
You guys randomize frequencies, right?
of course.
Okay. Just making sure.
Frequency hop, ciphertext, all that sort of fun things. Oh, it was quite a fun thing to learn about when it became the go-to technology.
Yeah, I know a lot of my elders are not super familiar with that kind of stuff, so I try to.
No, one must strive to remain tactically and technically proficient, Mr. Toon.
Exactly. So I guess we're just hanging out for a visit from the local Archon then. Yeah.
Apparently so. It would be rude to not be here when the Archon comes calling.
Oh, he will find us. Of that there is no doubt.
Let's make it easier on him then, shall we?
Indeed.
Watch out for chairs.
Yes, do not let him be set upon again.
Yes,
Oh,
the random spouting of things is not setting in the Major's brain. These seem randomly odd things to be spoken out in the middle of all this.
What exactly does that mean, Miss Stone?
Oh, well, he has a particular set of abilities that makes him rather unseen. And when you are trying to sit at a table at a seat you previously thought unoccupied and accidentally sit on the Archon, it is rather embarrassing.
More than once.
Standard Nosferatu chicanery. Understood. Yes.
Major, you do get a communique on your earpiece there. There's a request for Annabelle to go outside.
From whom?
From Miss Kyla Lupo. She sent a runner with a message.
Miss Annabelle, do you wish to acquiesce to this request?
Sorry, what was that?
Said Miss Annabelle, do you wish to acquiesce to this request?
You have to. I can't hear your thing. So
Kyla's here with a.
I know, but I'm saying in character, my character can't hear his earpiece telling him that there's thing for me.
That's my bad. You have been asked to attend your primogen outside of the cordon.
Well, it would be rude of me to not see what she wants of me.
Would you like some company?
No, Mr. Toon, it would be unwise to put yourself in harm like that.
Very well.
If she wanted to speak to you, she would have asked for you, Mr. Toon.
Very well.
We will be watching, Miss Annabelle. We will have your back.
That is very kind of you, Major Delaney. Before leaving the room, Annabelle's going to turn to Mr. White. Sorry, go ahead.
Shall I accompany you, my Brignet?
Mr. White, I will say the same thing I just told Mr. Toon. Don't put yourself in harm's way needlessly. Be smart, Mr. White.
Acknowledge, my Brignet.
Annabelle's going to activate Silence of Death and leave the room.
But you go. Nobody really intercedes with you. You head towards the front, out the gate, out the warehouse, out the yard, and past where his security personnel have been patrolling in little groups of 2 here and there. And you see as you walk out that these people are indeed officious. They look very militaristic, practiced in their efforts. Everything is purposeful and intended. It's quite impressive that these things get done like this. And there's not a lot of argument. There's people giving orders and people taking orders.
Once I'm outside of the fence or whatever, I'm actually going to turn off. I'm going to allow Ghost in the Machine to drop.
Okay.
And I will release Silence of Death as well.
Okay. And you keep walking, or?
I'm going to go out probably, 100, 150 feet from the gate.
You go for a little bit of a walk. And give me some wits and awareness, please.
One success.
Okay. You notice pretty much nothing as you walk. At least nothing that catches your eye. There's plenty of things to keep your mind occupied. What's going on? Why does she want to talk to me? Wasn't she just here? Blah, 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 blah. And as these thoughts and those type of emotions are rolling through, there is indeed the voice of Damien with simply saying, keep walking.
Of course.
Your Mr. Delaney is quite the interesting person, do you think?
He seems to have a good head on his shoulders for this tower business.
He's a functionary, and I think they like him for now. You have a question?
Why just now, my lord.
Isn't that all we ever have is how we are viewed right now?
Indeed, but he seemed adamant that this was his mission. He was doing right. The tower wanted this of him.
I do. He is and does.
I do not mean to question you, Lord Damien, but is this not what we should be doing? Is this not the tower's will?
For certain, it is now. There could have been other paths, different ways of achieving one's goals, but now your friends and the Major have removed those options from consideration. Watch your back, child.
From who?
I trust the Ventru as far as, well, Mr. White might throw him.
I see. I will stay vigilant, but he does bring attention to a problem here in this domain. I thought perhaps you had called me here to help with that.
Which thing specifically do you need help with, child? You know Ramona is on her way here.
I know. Sorry, Lord Damien. I more meant you summoned me here. I thought you wanted my help with the Sabbat element that seems to be everywhere.
It is an ongoing effort, one which I have no doubt you will see to purpose.
Excellent.
I have several things of my own to attend to now. My own schedules and timelines have been accelerated by your Major.
I see. It is good to hear from you again, though.
I am never not far away.
Of course, of course.
You and your friends have caught my interest, and it's fun to watch you all spin.
So, does that mean you actually have been following me? I
have followed you all with some interest. Not all of your actions have been well thought out. But the
Annabelle kind
Major
of
I
hangs her
see
head.
is dealing with these things, these breaches that did not go unnoticed by anyone. And there were many. It's not my concern, really. I have my own things to attend to. The first charged with this duty failed, Mr. Costa, and is no longer here. Then you were placed to shadow this coterie. And now we have the good Major.
So I have failed you then, my lord.
I have said no such thing. You have provided quite ample insight into certain factions within this domain.
Okay. I do not wish to meet my end at your hands, I suppose.
I would do no such thing.
That
There are
is
better ways to
a-
utilize you.
I do wish to serve.
By all means, as usual, Annabelle, keep your ears open. You may tell your friends that I am near. I'm not ready to come into this hornet's nest.
I understand your hesitation, but I will probably not warn them of the sword over their heads.
If they don't already feel cold steel on their necks, then they are blind, stupid, or both. And I'm not sure that they are.
Yes, I feel though in a positive
Foolish,
note.
certainly.
I do believe that we have the Mr. White problem handled for now. On a personal basis, at least.
What of Mr. White's good doctor? I understand you have some relationship with her.
Indeed. I am working on her, but she will be a valuable asset to not only myself, but the greater cause.
Where is the surviving child that was recently returned to our domain?
That information I am not privy to, but I will find that for you.
Excellent. Good answer. I would dare like to know. There are many aspects to your Dr. Weiss that she does not tell you.
Indeed. I hoped to speak with her soon. It's just I have been waylaid with. Annabelle kind of just generally gestures around herself slightly. The ongoing problems.
Yes, I will attend the major when it is due time. As for your coterie members, do keep an eye and ear open at all times.
Of course, my lord. I always try to be aware of what's going on, though it has been difficult at times, but I am striving to do better.
Be mindful of Major Delaney. He plays a deck of cards where he thinks his friends are shuffling. They are not his friends. This tower and Lucinda is no one's tool.
As you say, my lord, I will keep that in mind.
Enjoy your evening, Annabelle.
You too, my lord. And Annabelle will kind of do as like a slight soft bow to the air.
And the voice just stops. Back in the office, Annabelle leaves, leaving the five of you to talk amongst yourselves or do other things as she goes for a stroll.
I'd like to activate premonition.
Okay. And your roll, sir?
1 minute, getting the correct roll. Where's the disciplines? There's aspects. Rouse, and Rouse is success.
Okay.
Resolve plus aspects. crit, so 6.
That was your resolve plus aspects?
Yep. Six successes.
Yep.
Player to ST.
Yes.
Mr. Keats is in the wings.
Excellent. You know what? This is a great time for us to take a quick break. We will come back and have Mr. Jonathan Keats joining us. And hopefully, viewing audience, you will return with us. We will see you all in 7 to 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us while we got Mr. Keats locked in, having a long night at work for himself, and now gets to join us for the remainder of our evening. So as we return back to our coterie, Annabelle out on a walk, answering some call or another from Kyla, some messenger. The coterie left to speak about themselves. Jonathan, you've been awake for a while, just spending time with Ada, comforting each other or making plans or scheming or whatever it is the two of you have been doing for a while. You've heard people coming and going out of the basement of this warehouse where they've set up these Spartan-like accommodations to keep people safe and out of sunlight. At some point, you need to join the rest of the coterie, as everyone was called by the major to the office.
Yeah, so I'm going to use this opportunity to be like, all right, so just remember what I told you. I have to go right now, but look, we won't be here long.
We can't be here long, Jonathan. Nothing good is going to come of any of this. If we can get out of here, the better.
I feel like this whole city's about to fucking burn, and we need to be out of here before it does.
It feels like it. I'm obviously not going anywhere. Go do what you got to do.
Be right back.
With that, you exit out into the hall. There's no one around, no sounds coming from the basement any longer. And it's pretty much the stairs going back up to the main warehouse just outside the offices, where you can probably assume they're waiting. If you head out that way, you'll notice there's a beehive of activity of security personnel, little groups here and there, little two-man patrols walking here and there. Lots of buzz of activity. Seems the major's been busy.
I'll flag, like I'm assuming a pair of them.
Sure, it's easy enough. And you got their attention. They turn. Something we can do for you, sir?
Yeah, where can I find the major and the rest of the coterie?
They point at the office where he killed the person the night before. You can see in the big bay window, they're all sitting in there at a table, minus Annabelle.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
I will walk that way and just gently rap at the door.
You guys can see through the big bay window. Jonathan makes his way over and knocks.
I'll get up and let him in. Mr. Keats!
Thank
How you doing, sleepyhead?
Could be better.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Walter's awake.
Among other things.
Wasn't familiar with Walter to begin with.
Ah, yeah, that's the Bruja Primogen.
Oh, well, that's good.
No.
That's the one that was staked and presented to the chantry with a literal bow on top.
Mm. You guys really didn't think any of this through, did you?
Nope. He's a
Not at all.
motherfucker.
I mean, I know you, Major, you're not a part of this. Is there anything else I should be aware of?
We had a visitor.
You gotta elaborate. The mind reading thing is what I do.
Kyla stopped by.
Yes, the primogen of the Nosferatu stopped by.
I know her.
Yes, she would like to speak with us.
Again?
Again.
So apparently either things are going better than last time, or
Undetermined.
we'll find out. Major? Is there anything else I should be aware of?
Have a seat, Mr. Keats.
I have a seat.
The Major will stand, look out the bay window, place his hand behind his back. Mr. Keats, last night, on 2 separate occasions, you attempted to scare my men into being derelict in their duties in an effort to safeguard your paramour. This is unacceptable. These men are here for not only my protection, but yours as well as the execution of the Tower's wishes. They are not here to be talked to in such a way by one like you. If it happens again, I will separate your head from your shoulders. And he will look back. Am I clear, Mr. Keats?
Yeah, it would be a shame to lose myself to passion on them.
And Jonathan, you'll notice the place is absolutely spotless, free of blood, free of any evidence that anything had occurred.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Keats, are you referring to what happened, the unfortunate incident from last night?
Like I said, I understand. Passions run high.
Yes, they do. And we all have that thing inside of us that drives us, don't we? Now, if you notice, when I referenced your indiscretions with my men, I did not reference when you almost beat one to death because you were peckish. Did I, Mr. Keats? No, I did not. I left that one out because I can understand that. I can understand that that was not necessarily you acting on your own volition. However, the 2 instances in which you did, in an effort to make my men abandon their posts, those are the ones that I take issue with, Mr. Keats.
Understood.
I very much hope so. And I hope that your snide remarks and your little quips will be kept to a minimum as well. Because I'm sure you can understand, when you swore loyalty to not only the Tower, but me, that includes a certain measure of discipline. And if you cannot exercise necessary discipline, Mr. Keats, then I have no use for you. I have had to move things along much faster than I intended to, because certain things came to light, and I am wholly dedicated to ensuring not only your safety, but your success. Along with everyone else in this coterie, you are all in my care. I take that charge very seriously, Mr. Keats.
I'll keep my quips to a minimum.
Thank you. To bring you up to speed, yes, Primogen Lupo did appear to us. She was quite frivolous in the face of such things, which tells me she's very afraid. What does she have to be afraid of? I don't know. Perhaps there is an Archon floating around out there that is dripping poison honey in her ear about intentions. I don't know.
Perhaps. But it's really easy to get under the skin of the people here. That wasn't a clip at you.
No, I understand that, Mr. Keats.
Like a thin blood can come into possession of quite a number of things, and that's with my station, much less anybody else's.
Yes, normally you all are sequestered by the Tremere rather quickly. The way things run in this domain is just odd, to say the least. Maybe it does have something to do with the one in charge being absolutely mad. I don't know. Suppose it doesn't matter. At the end of the night, the tower will have what the tower is owed. What the tower is owed is our service. So, to that end, is there anything you need before the tower's agents come?
Bella, at this moment, you can have made your way back to the office if that is something that you were planning on doing.
Annabelle is probably going to take her time to get back, but once she does get back to the gate or whatever, she will reactivate Silence of Death and Ghost in the Machine.
Okay. And do you indeed head back to the office?
Yes.
Okay. You see through the window as you approach that indeed Jonathan has finally come up out of the basement and has joined the rest of the coterie in the office with the major.
She'll enter through the door then and just kind of glide into the room and sit down if there's chairs or whatever. So
There's enough chairs for everybody here. Major Delaney, it's Sergeant Spears.
Go ahead.
Your previous guest, Miss Lupo, has returned. And she has people with her.
Very well. Would you all care to join me in welcoming Miss Lupo back?
Drop Silence of Death at this point. I should mention that she probably has the sheriff with her.
Ah, shit.
Oh, delightful.
And the major has taken certain actions or potential actions off of the table to rectify the situation in this domain. That was the message that I was given.
By your Primogen?
No. I do not owe allegiance to Primogen Lupo. I am not but a tool at times, weapon at others of someone else.
Whom?
Zeke will laugh.
The
Him
Archon,
again.
Damien, of course, Major Delaney. He is the one who brought me back here.
Yes, of course. Oh, thank you for being so forthright, Miss Annabelle. I appreciate your candor.
We are friends here, of course, and must trust one another.
I believe a conversation is due betwixt us, Miss Annabelle. I believe a conversation is due betwixt all of us on an individual case-by-case basis. Now, let us go see what we shall see, and excuse me. Let us go see what the Imogen of the Nosferatu has brought to us. And I will have the men on alert.
Acknowledge.
And I am going to activate toughness.
Okay.
I'm successful.
All right. So the major starts heading out of the office, heading towards the front of the warehouse. If everybody follows, that's great, unless you have other plans.
No, I'm following.
As you
Same.
get there,
Same.
there seems to be one of those short, what looks like a church bus. It's one of those black and white short buses where the name of the church has been like scratched out along the entire length. It looks like a 1970s style type bus. Kyla has disembarked. There's a couple of other familiar faces that are with her, one of which being the Gangrel representative, Mr. Benny Blue, Ramona, a pair of bags, which seem to have, they're the size, they look like body bags from the morgue, have been unloaded. There's a couple of other people who are obviously Nosferatu, though you're not sure if you've ever seen them before. They seem very nondescript.
A nondescript Nosferatu?
Yes, they almost look as if they were part of your security team. Although nothing about them stands out.
Ah, now that's the key piece of information I needed. Now I will look around. I will look at all of the assembled individuals before us, and I say,
Kyla and those gathered look over everyone who's accompanied the major, and Kyla's the first to speak up. Oh, look, the gang's all here.
indeed. And I'm wondering what you're doing here again, Primogen.
She saunters through you all, weaving between you each again, and she sidles up next to Jonathan, this time placing an arm over his shoulder. And she just kind of looks at him with that weird language smile, smirk. You don't know if she's flirting with him or wants to eat him. It's hard to tell. Jonathan, her attention is a little more than just a bit creepy, but strangely affectionate.
No, I am not digging this at all.
Jonathan, you look awful.
Oh, I guess we have that in common, don't we?
Oh,
I will stare fucking daggers at
the
Jonathan.
man of many words.
I'm glaring at him at this point. Like,
Johnny.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
We brought something for you and your friends. You want to help me with it?
Not particularly, but you know I will.
Mr. Keats, need I remind you of the discussion we just had?
Oh, lighten up, Major. He's fun. Come on, Johnny. And she walks
Go
back
and
over
grab the body
to where Ramona and Benny Blue are standing on either side of a pair of body bags. Kyla walks over with you arm in arm and then points to the one next to Benny, goes, that one's for you guys. The other one, yeah, not so much. So yeah, you guys can have that wag. And she releases your arm. and she goes to stand next to Benny Blue.
What's in the one for us?
Oh dear, it's a present. You got to unwrap it. It's Christmas, darling.
I will unwrap it.
Benny kind of gives Tim a look and a nod, looks at Annabelle and does the same. Doesn't
I'll return
really
it.
say much or give much attention to Sam or Virginia. Zeke, he kind of gives this.
I would like to make an
Grading
insight
look?
roll.
Sure. What are you trying to wits out?
Intent.
Intent of whom?
Hostile or otherwise.
By whom?
Oh, all of
Like,
them.
All of them? Okay. Yeah, so wits and insight, sir.
I'm sorry. Could I get a repeat on what sort of look I was given?
He looks at you with a grating look, almost like you irritate him just by being there.
No, okay.
He's a
That's about right.
gangrel. His expressions are kind of expressive. He's not hard to read when
Okay.
when he has emotions.
Fair enough. I just want to make sure I heard it right.
Emotive
5,
little
6,
emote.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11 successes.
His intent, if it is hostile, it's not directed in your general direction. Likewise, Kyla seems dangerous. Benny seems dangerous. Ramona seems dangerous. Hell, the two bags at their feet seem dangerous.
Gonna say you
Yes,
probably.
they're kindred. Of course they're dangerous. I'm trying to ascertain what their intent to being here is. Like,
Hard
are
to
they trying to put a shine on us? Are they trying to antagonize us? Are they trying
Kyla
to
appears
what is
genuine. Benny has said little to nothing, and neither has Ramona, which generally not Ramona's style. And Benny B is pretty boisterous. At least Tim, Virginia, and Annabelle would probably know those characteristics of them. Maybe even Jonathan, he's been around long enough. Certainly Kyla's mannerisms are readable.
Just gonna say you probably notice that while I am giving those quips, it's like more like to be expected of me from that person, and I'm like still being cool and level-headed.
Well, go on, dear.
We'll just
Take
look
Take
at
it back
Jonathan. I'll
to
look
take
at
it back to the
Jonathan, look at
kids
the
and have
bag and give
everybody
him a
open the
nod.
birthday present.
I'll just look at Jonathan, look at the bag, give him a nod to open it.
Yeah, I was opening it right there before she said anything.
So everybody can make a simple wits and awareness as he's opening this bag.
3 successes.
Is this an incarnate sarcophagi before me?
No, it is literally a mortuary bag.
Sun bag.
Okay. Well, if you got 2 or more, and that's pretty much everybody, you can tell by body structure, as it's being opened, clothing style for sure, that this is a bound, gagged, black bagged Maurice Tellon.
Oh, you spoil us, Miss Lupo.
Well, only the best, my dear.
I'm gonna I'll carry this back now. I'm gonna be extra rough with this bag.
Bound,
So you
gagged, and
start
what?
dragging the
Black
bag
bag.
across.
Bound, gagged, and staked.
Not staked,
Black bagged.
Black bagged.
but
So he
bound
doesn't
and
know that
gagged for sure.
He doesn't know that he's in front of us right now. He can't see a thing.
When I do grab when I do like drag him all the way, I am going to like flip him over.
There's
like,
kicking and screaming. There's wriggling.
Look at Mr. Keats and I say, Mr. Keats, do be a dear and zip that bag back up and have it, and my men will be arriving shortly to
There's a
deal with
bit
it.
of the worm convulsions.
I'm gonna zip it back
Aww.
up. When I get to the head, I'm just gonna whisper, I guess you couldn't hold it.
Oh, damn. Yeah, there's some extra wriggling,
Bird.
some more. You can hear exacerbated, muffled, gagged screams and just raging.
5 heightened senses. Do I hear that?
You don't need heightened
I think
senses.
we all can.
Don't we hide senses for that one? No, that was just way to run in front of us.
And who's in the other bag, Trimogen?
You know, I don't know. That bag's not mine and I can't touch it. And she walks back over, turning, claps Benny B on the back. I know that you don't want to stick around here because of this wonderful group of people. She looks over at Ramona and says, "You're not my problem. Benny, get your bag. We got things to do. Y'all have a great day now. Enjoy the present."
Thank
And
you, Miss
her,
Lupo.
Benny, the
We
other two
appreciate it.
Nosferatu jump up into the van, dragging the other body bag behind them, leaving Ramona and a bagged Maurice with you all, unless anybody tries to stop the other two Primogen from leaving.
Is the other bag wriggling?
I don't have a death wish.
You have no idea. It's been stuffed back onto the bus.
No.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on this one. Nope.
Yeah, I'm
Nope.
just glad I don't have another creepy interaction with the Nosferatu Primogen. So
Sorry, we'll
I
have a
only have
different
one
deal with
be
it.
real quiet.
Since I did get a good look at the bag, was the occupant large enough to be a Walter Quince?
No, definitely not.
That's unfortunate.
So
can only
to
hope,
clarify,
John.
hold on. To clarify, the Nos, the Gangrel, and the two other Mask of 1,000 Faces Nos are getting back on the bus and departing, and they are with the second body bag, and they're leaving Ramona there.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a little bit of a consternated look on her face. She's a little annoyed that she just got told to sit and stay. She looks around at those gathered, watching you guys walk away with this bag in tow. Jonathan toying with it, flipping it over, rolling it into whatever is convenient. The parked vehicle here, the desk there, the wall, and the constant muffled protest coming from the bag. Ramona kind of got her arms crossed. She's tapping her feet, looking around at what all's going on. She is being very, very attentive. Though she doesn't offer up greetings or conversation. And she doesn't come into the warehouse. She stands outside looking at everything, and you can see her mentally taking notes.
Annabelle is just like staring daggers at Ramona.
She returns the favor, but doesn't shoot daggers at you. She just has this cocky smile on her face.
Why'd they leave you behind, Sheriff?
I don't know and don't care. You all got what you wanted.
What is it that you want then?
Oh, honey. What I want, you can't provide me.
I wouldn't know if you didn't tell me.
Yeah, and I'm not going to. So, new friend, yeah, I guess you're major. The major. Major Delaney or Delaney, whatever the hell you want to be called. You're the new Ventru. And you
I am indeed.
did this.
I look back at the warehouse and no, Sheriff, you did.
Typical Blue Bloods. Look, I don't know who you all told what to about your little friend there in the bag, but you got what you wanted.
Oh, no, I haven't. And as you so eloquently stated to Miss Annabelle, there is nothing you could do to give me what I want.
Fantastic.
However, Mr. Toon, Miss Annabelle,
Major.
if I'm not mistaken, she is implicated.
No.
Oh, you can stop in your tracks now, little boy. I'm not your problem. You
Oh,
got
then
bigger
who
fish to
is?
fry.
Who is my problem?
Well, if Annabelle and her little team of Scooby-Doo experts were doing their job, they'd have that answer already, or you wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be doing this right now. Because they were certainly given their tasks, which they've pretty much failed miserably from top to bottom at.
Mm-hmm. And what tasks have you failed at?
Oh, know your place, Major. Again,
I know my place.
I'm not your problem.
Then what is?
My problem is your little coterie here of serial masquerade breachers and murderers who keep getting on the news.
I know their sins.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. The whole county does. It's wonderful, isn't it? How are you all alive still?
I don't know, Sheriff.
Point at the
Why don't
brand.
you?
And I'm like,
I don't know, Sheriff. Why don't you tell me, as the one charged in this domain with upholding the traditions?
Oh, we don't need to get into a pissing match, Major. You have your job and I have mine.
I know exactly what my job is, and I know exactly what your job is. It's quite well spelled out.
So you're
If
telling
there's
me you'd
such-
like to step in and take over where you were taking care of all these little problems that we've been told to let you just deal with, and you'd like me to deal with it instead. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh no,
As
your
the sheriff,
opportunity
you'd like me to step in and take care of all of this
your
right
opportunity
now?
to deal with it is long past.
Wow, big boy with big britches. You're a guest here, Mr. Delaney. Maybe you should keep that in mind. And you are at the invitation of members of this domain who are actually well respected and well influenced within your precious little ivory tower. So before you go mouthing off, don't forget, you're a guest too, and you fall under the purview of my domain. It is still, in fact, Prince Giorgio's domain for the time being.
Lovely. Well, you're absolutely right, Sheriff. Please forgive me and my indelicate words. By all means, I invite you inside. Perhaps you'd like to take a bit of a rest, enjoy some of my hospitality.
No, thank you.
If you do not wish to, then by all means, you may depart at your leisure.
Oh, I'm certainly will depart at my leisure, as you say, Mr. Delaney. But yeah, you and your little Tonka toy warehouse over here, G.I. Joe team, you can keep it.
I intend to.
As long as you can. Annabelle, don't forget, dear, You still have a job to do.
I am doing my job, Sheriff. Mr. White is reformed. And I know where your lost are.
My lost.
But you...
They're all of our lost.
You may say that, but you disparage the tower and you have information I want.
I've got information you want. About what?
My long nights of searching and searching and searching and searching, and the information keeps coming back to you, Ramona.
What
Always
information
back to you.
comes back to me?
Yes.
The fact that I know where the bodies are buried? Yep, I put most of them where they are. That's my job.
This is before your little titles and parading around in front of us like this.
Okay, I'll bite. What is it you think you know?
I have a pretty good suspicion that you are Sabat, Ramona.
Oh my god, the Sabat hunters think I'm a Sabat. That's fun.
Do you refute this? Do you refute this, Sheriff?
Oh, Mr. Delaney, let's not. You know goddamn well I'm not a Sabat, and my job is here.
I would like to roll insight.
Sure. And what is it that you would like to intuit?
Whether or not she's lying.
Okay, so detect lies.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 successes.
Nice.
It's what I built him to do.
And we appreciate
Like
it.
my Hulk smash pull.
Her body language betrays some deceptions. You're not sure what those deceptions are, but she's not lying to you about this. As she answers you about not being a Sabat, not that you all don't know exactly what's going on or what she's been doing, rings absolutely true. But there's definitely deception in her body language. Some of her intonations suggest multiple truths. Not so much lies. There you go. That's a more accurate, that there's multiple truths. Her use of the art of deception is skillful.
Annabelle is going to start walking towards Ramona.
She notes you, adjusts her stance a little bit to be more directed towards you, but continues conversing nonetheless. So y'all might want to get that away from him before he decides to go and kill something he's not allowed to kill. And she motions towards Jonathan and the body bag that seems to perpetually being knocked into the wall.
No, I have my job that I will fulfill.
Oh, he's in good hands.
So you like go into one of the other offices? Did you take him past the group and out of sight?
Yeah, I put him in the office.
Okay. So Sam, Virginia, here you are presented by of all people, Kyla, a gift wrapped Maurice.
I am following Jonathan.
Okay.
So am I, and I have this.
Yeah, so the two Toreador look to have beeline their attention in a very specific direction.
Oh, and before we are smiling about this.
Yeah, they have that Toreador murder smile.
Yeah, you about to become a painting kind of smile. With the Major's permission. Everything is all said and done, of course.
If anybody asks for it, I haven't heard anybody say anything to the Major. I've just heard people telling me that they're walking in this direction or the other.
Well,
I'm not saying anything. I've decided I am going to see what is happening.
I'm stopping. I want to talk to the Major, Major Delaney. After the questioning of Mr. Tellon, is it possible that me and Miss Stone could speak to him privately?
If all of you would give me a moment with the sheriff, that would be much appreciated. Well, me and Miss Annabelle.
Of course. I will wait here.
Am I far enough away to hear Sam say this?
Sure, it's you're kind of.
I actually have some.
You, Jonathan, and the body bag are right there at the office door. Sam stopped to talk with the Major on the way in that direction. Annabelle's going the other way towards the front of the warehouse where Ramona is, and Tim's just kind of standing there watching this all go down.
I was just wondering if I could hear Sam at this point.
And so is he.
But
yeah, you hear Sam. He's only a few steps away.
Mr. Smith, do not presume to speak for me.
I just asked a general question.
Mr. Smith, do not presume to speak with me or speak for me. Thank you.
Shall I take my leave, Miss Annabelle?
Annabelle just kind of gives a dismissive wave. She's not turning to look at him.
As you wish, Miss Annabelle.
You want to have words, Toots?
We'll join the others.
Yes, I do. I, dear Sheriff, believe in the tower. I believe in what it stands for, and I believe that it is the only way forward. If I'm being perfectly honest, faith. What I have done is because I believe there is a threat to it.
Oh, this place is full of threats. Make no mistake about that.
And as I'm sure you have witnessed several times in your own life, when it gets this bad, there's only one real answer, and that is to do what I have already set in motion.
I think you could have done it a little more quietly, Mr. Delaney.
What need is there of the veil of secrecy? I directly messaged who I messaged, and beyond that, what you know is a mystery to me.
Yeah, but your accusations sure flow freely.
From whom?
You and this entire group of people, and she waves a hand about.
Oh, so somebody in this group of people
to motion Annabelle.
Wait. You're telling me that people in this group betwixt last night and tonight have made manifestly known throughout this entire domain what's going to happen?
Oh no, they've made manifestly known their assumptions about a lot of people to a lot of people.
And you're saying the assumptions are incorrect?
I would say some of them are, dead wrong.
Like what? You see, you bring up an interesting point, the lack of perspective. I have been shown evidence, hard evidence, not merely witness accounts, that there is an infestation here that must be dealt with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But perhaps you, Sheriff, can provide perspective that I am lacking.
What perspective would you like, Mr. Newcomb?
Your perspective, Sheriff.
and help me out. Be a little more. Which exact part of this clusterfucked domain would you like my perspective on?
In your duties as sheriff, have you witnessed Sabat, known Sabat at that?
Absolutely.
Have you witnessed their machinations?
I've seen enough to know exactly what's going on.
Well, what exactly is going on?
Let's not get into too many politics, but let's say the failed leadership of this city have allowed some things to slip through the cracks that have made it absolutely impossible for persons like myself to do my fucking job.
Well then, Sheriff, I do truly invite you into my domain and offer you the hospitality of it. I merely ask that we work together to heal
Annabelle, you
what's been...
walked over here like you got something to say. Are you just gonna stand there and stare at me? You gonna swing? You gonna punch? What you gonna do?
I wouldn't take a swing at you, Sheriff.
I don't believe that for a hot second.
Then you are very wise. But where is my daughter, Sheriff?
And the major will look over and just be like,
Your
Sam will pretty much turn in his tracks when she said that. Like,
your
wait,
daughter, your daughter, like you want to elaborate? Someone you need me to find?
No,
Somebody
I
else
don't need
gone
you
missing?
to find. I want to know what you did with her. Or someone attached to you.
Like
I
yourself.
know this. Do what?
You're attached to me. You're supposed to be working with me. You're supposed to be reporting to me. I haven't heard from you in days.
Ramona.
Annabelle.
When the Sabat tore through my home and left me for dead, they took my daughter. They killed everyone and everything around me, and they got me too. I was told I would find you. I was helped to find you. Or Annabelle stops for a second. My daughter, not you if you aren't my daughter, but I have searched from coast to coast of this fucking country, Ramona, looking for the clues to my daughter.
Okay.
And they led me back here to
help
you.
Me out a bit, chick. Who's your daughter?
Verla Schmidt.
Why would I know this person?
I don't know, Ramona, but I was told you knew who she was. I was told she could be you. All I know is I hunted down the Sabat who killed my family and took what was left of me.
So, you think I'm your daughter?
I don't know what to think anymore, Ramona.
Who told you this?
I have been piecing this puzzle together for so many nights and across so many domains that I don't know. It wasn't one person. It was the...
You've had a really bad night, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I I'm tired of looking. I just wanted the answer. I finally was back here. I finally had you in a position I could ask you. And I finally get to ask you, and you tell me you don't know anything.
Who told you to talk to me?
Nobody specific, Ramona. The people who told me to find you are all dead. I have killed my way through so many fucking Sabbat. I don't know their names. They were all ash beneath my feet.
Wow. And you somehow killed your way to me?
Yes.
She looks around at those gathered. You got some kind of beef with me, Annabelle?
I don't have any specific problem with you, Ramona. I just
sure
wanted to
act
know
like
if
it. You sure talk like it. You sure killed your way to me, I think you said.
If I may, dear Sheriff, and please, Annabelle, I am trying to help. I believe she just wants answers. If you have none, we will track down the next clue.
So I'm assuming you're going to get me the information I need to look into this. Is that right, Annabelle?
I'll tell
Including
you
a list
anything
of the trail of bodies that led to me, because that would probably be the biggest clue, at least for me. I'm not trying to be flippant, but there's a lot going on today. You're coming to me about some missing person you've been tracking, killing your way, and somehow led you to me, and think I'm confused based on hearing myself relay this. But you obviously are really hung up on this, so I'm going to do you the favor of giving it some of my attention. Is that good for everybody?
That is very kind of you, Sheriff. And of course, I will try to find the information necessary within my old brain.
Outstanding idea. Look, Johnny.
Sheriff.
Don't kill it before it's time, dear.
Sheriff.
Yes.
As I stated, I would like to sit down with you and talk at length. If you would be so kind and indulge me, I believe that we can come to a mutually beneficial understanding.
What, here now with the goon squad coming?
Yes. Because I believe that, as you said, the lack of perspective needs to be addressed.
She passes a look to everybody that she has an eye line with. I'm not sure now and here is the best time to have any kind of exaggerated long discussion about damn near anything that isn't immediately relevant to what is about to shit upon all of us. By the way, Tim, your boy, Walter.
Uh-huh.
He's not happy.
Yeah, I imagine he's not.
But the fun part is, it doesn't matter. Your boys back over at the Witch Circle have him well under wraps.
Interesting.
He's not left that place since you've dropped him off. They've just recently woken him up to have a few conversations, and he's been forthcoming. They have ways of making people talk, and that's not no one-liner. I'm not kidding you, people. Those guys over there are fucking scary. And she cuts a quick look at Jonathan before turning. Look, Major, I want to accommodate you as best as I can, but you have called down a shitstorm.
If here's the message that I sent is that I had intelligence.
I still have things to do. I don't get to play G.I. Joe, sit around in the tents and make radio calls today. I don't have that kind of time, Major, and I'm surprised you do.
Sheriff.
And for a little perspective, Major, I have been spending quite a bit of my own time coming up behind you and the Merry Bunch, cleaning things up. The little stunt y'all pulled over at the police station, breaking in, breaking out, whatever it is the fuck y'all did over there, we're still fixing that. You've burned a lot of people's good resources. Y'all have been sloppy, clumsy, and goddamn, Tim, get your pretty face off the TV.
That has been addressed, Sheriff.
Oh, I know. I've been told I can't kill you. So at least right now for today, you and Mr. White both, for some reason, and Sam too. Damn, Sam, who'd you piss off?
You said you have been told you cannot kill me.
Or
are you referring to Mr. Toon and Mr. White and Mr. Smith?
Yeah. My three favorite stooges.
Here's my question. Here's a question for you, Sheriff. I'm talking about Sabbat infiltration. You're talking about Masquerade breaches. I feel like we are talking across. I feel like we are talking at cross purposes. And well, yes, I fully intend on addressing the many and very severe sins that this coterie has committed. What I need to know from you is, Sheriff, in the course of your investigations into this Sabbat infestation, excuse me, what are your findings?
Well, some of our findings have been delivered up to you in convenient little carry bags. Some of my findings you all have delivered up in convenient little carry bags to others.
Yes, and the message that I sent to Jessica Lucinda was that we must meet to discuss.
And apparently Miss Annabelle took it upon herself to rid us of the problem of Mr. Theron. That little piece of information's gone around the hot wire.
Well, Mr. Theron is Sabbat and therefore not subject to the protections of the traditions.
Nobody said she killed him without cause.
And was well within her purview to do so.
There's simply
I'm very curious as to what your
layers
issue
of
is.
investigation going on than just little Mr. Theron and his local group of, we want to start the Sabbat. We want to start the Sabbat. And by the way, they did. And yeah, they're here. Your coterie found one of their little hidey holes down by the train tracks and burned it to the ground. That was fun to watch, guys. Good job.
Did enjoy that one.
Did that handle the infestation, or
not even close?
That was my next question. Is the physical evidence that I have indicating such said infestation still valid? And you make it manifest that this is not even close. Miss Annabelle, who was sent here by the tower, says that the Sabbat problem in this domain is and continues to be critical. Is that your assessment as well, Sheriff?
Critical is a light way of putting it, but yeah, it's a problem.
It is a light way of putting it. How would you put it, Sheriff?
Look, we've already got two archons in this region, and you've brought in Lucinda and whoever knows what the hell she's throwing down here to clean up this fucking asbestos fire.
Sheriff, I did not bring Lucinda in. Lucinda brought me in. I work for her. I report to her. I am her agent. So please, a straight answer would be appreciated.
What other straight answer can I give you to say that there's still a big problem here?
So what would you recommend as a course of action?
Are sending the fucking clean sweep team.
So what would you recommend? Since you seem to have a problem with this course of action, what would you recommend in its stead?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think about your course of action, Major. This is what's happening.
I think at this point in time, I've dragged him like in the doorway, and I'm
absolutely.
Just like,
and Virginia and Sam have followed closely behind,
sitting on top of the body, and I'm just gonna wave and be like, "You can always murder me, Ramona. You always have that right. That makes you feel any better."
Very well. If you're not willing to contribute, and you're unwilling to partake of my hospitality, we have business to attend to, as I'm sure you do as well.
Oh, I do. I really, really do.
We bid you adieu and have a good evening, Sheriff.
Annabelle, you know how to get a hold of me. When you need me, let me know. Have fun at your chit chat. I gotta run, ladies. And she literally starts running because they left her behind.
Annabelle's going to activate Silence of Death, and she's just going to take off across the hangar towards the downstairs entrance thing to go back underground.
Okay. I'm gonna follow her.
Sam, Virginia, Jonathan.
Sam was with the Major the whole time. After getting treated by Virginia, he stayed right there by the Major.
So Virginia, Jonathan, you two snarkle Maurice into the office. You close the door, lock it, let anybody follow you.
No. I put him in the doorway, and I'm sitting on top of it. So the doorway's open so that I'm showing the Major, like, hey, I'm not fucking around. Like,
okay.
And so, like, he still has visibility. I just didn't want him out in the open just in case something happened and he could, like, run. And I am going to rip my shirt into little bits and put them in my ears.
Okay. What are you doing, Virginia?
Oh, I'm just standing there, shit-eating grin on my face, waiting.
Mr. White, Tim, Sam,
Major, what are you guys doing? The Major's lead.
Okay.
I'm following the Major's lead. Where the Major goes, I go too.
The Major watches. The Major watches. His hands still behind his back as Ramona darts off into the distance. He'd be better off if she had joined the rest of her clan in exile. He snaps to, executes an about face, and marches back towards the hangar.
I would have followed Annabelle at the second she started marching off.
I'm following in the Major.
Okay.
Once we get back to the office, the Major will look around. So, what I am gathering from many of the court and Primogen that have visited us this evening is that they failed so completely to stop the infestation of the Sabbat. I mean, the sheriff, instead of taking action, merely watched all of this go down. She says she has evidence and yet failed to act upon it in her capacity as sheriff, which is mildly disconcerting. The council failed the Primogen Council. I don't even know what to make of that. We have a kindred in the other room that needs to be interrogated. Mr. Toon, Miss Annabelle, I might as well present a united front, all of you. Feel free to ask whatever questions you have. I am in need of a drink.
Think you should probably be there as well.
I will be there presently, but currently I am in need of a moment.
Major, before you leave, Annabelle did walk away from us, so I don't know where she is currently.
Annabelle is more than capable of handling herself, and I trust her implicitly to not breach the masquerade.
Well, if it's okay with you, we will wait until everyone is present.
Very well. That is an excellent idea, Mr. Keats.
I'll put back in my little ear fluff. And
If you need earplugs, I can have one of my men provide you with some.
I've already committed.
Very well, Mr. Keats, as you will.
And then just return to sitting on the body.
I think that's a good spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we're going to call this session for the evening. We will be taking a break next week, although we will, for the next 2 weeks, be doing a few vignettes, doing some deeper dives as we hit the climax of or at least we hope the climax of the crux of this bend in our story. The coterie calling in the powers of the White Tower to do their thing in a domain that they've all deemed, or at least those that matter have deemed it no longer viable to sustain.
Dave, if you could please name this episode, is that a stake in your pocket, or are you unhappy to see me?
Bingo, done.
No, oh, come on. The Purge of St. Williams is a lot better title than that.
The Purge
like
and
that.
Prince William.
That's probably going to be the next one.
Yes.
Okay, then we have that for the next.
I think we are
Perfect. We're already queued up.
Very well set up to have a nice climactic season, as it were.
Oh yeah.
It's been a wild one.
The next episode will be Prince William by night meets Drano. That will be the next one.
Somebody called the plumber. So as we like to do every night when we finish up, our wonderful viewers, thank you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. Sorry we had a little bit of a short session and a late start, but that is the machinations of the universe at large. Life happens and we all go along with it and take care of it from there. We like to go around the table and get a low point, a high point, and a nomination for extra XP each week. And we encourage our viewing audience to chime in and tell us what they thought. Is there something that stood out to you that was a really good scene for you or a good character moment? We'd like to know. Feedback's always good. Yes, sir.
Annabelle dropping that fucking bomb. That's all I got to say.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's start right up with Annabelle. High, low, and a nom, please.
The high, probably getting to see the return of Damien again after such a long absence. The low, 20 weeks of blue balls for one question to get told I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
I was wondering when that was going to be said. Oh boy.
The nom. I would say Major Delaney gets my nom since I can't nominate myself.
Damn.
Damn.
Roger that. Major.
Yeah. So high is getting that reveal. Low is wow. I don't think the major would need Sabbat presence to justify a cleansing in this domain. The Primogen Council, with the exception of from what I've seen of Fiona and the court, all act like a bunch of children. I mean, they're acting like children.
Right there, afraid of their own shadow.
And then, you know, for me, it's not a toss up. Annabelle dropping that info and her reaction to the response to said question. Yeah, that was interesting. And she definitely gets my nom because I could feel the frustration and the fury and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
where's your rage check?
Oh, she made it. I saw her do it. But a second would go to Miss Stone for sort of, how do I put this? Establishing her position as regnant. That was nice. Very well done. And I'm happy that we got to get Mr. Keats in here before the end because his reaction to the individual that showed up was delicious as well. But yeah, my vote goes to Miss Annabelle.
Tim.
So we'll start with MVP. It's definitely Annabelle. She gets my vote. That was a great scene. But as far as high and a low, they're kind of both the same thing. The low is that Walter is awake, but the high is that, you know, he's Pinocchio right now.
Excellent.
He's on some strings. So that's good news to me.
We hope.
Excellent. Sam.
My high is the fact that we have Mr. Talon that we can question and get maybe some straight answers. My low is the fact that our lovely nice Annabelle didn't get the answers that she wanted. And my MVP does go to Annabelle for that bomb and that whole scene. Like, I felt the anger, the frustration. Like, she wanted to rip Ramona's head off in front of everybody, but she kept the anger in check and didn't do it. What happens after that, nobody knows. But yeah, my MVP is Annabelle.
Excellent. Zeke.
High, low, and nomination. We'll go in reverse order this time. Nomination, Ms. Annabelle. Jesus fucking Christ, girlfriend. You literally gave me goosebumps, chills, and I shivered. Brava. Brava. High point. Shit be happening, yo. Shit be happening. It's a long time coming.
Low point. We skipped over the premonition thing. I'm sorry, I let that slip.
No, that's okay. I'm thinking, Dave, we'll do it during the week. You and I can get together and
Or
as I go down the stairs.
Or perhaps as part of a vignette.
Dave,
That's what I was thinking. That's I was thinking of having a separate one with Annabelle and the Major.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia.
But no, low point
sorry, go
none.
ahead.
Yeah,
None.
Low point none, but Virginia,
Like it.
it's all yours.
Oh, it's me. Hello. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Obviously, my nomination goes to Annabelle. I was very excited that she finally got to use some of that background information she has been itching to bring into this, and it was very exciting to see that come to a head for her. I am very excited for your character. Also, really excellent role play, everybody. I feel like I say this every week that my high point is the role play in this group, but it really is. You guys are fantastic. It is a pleasure to play off of you guys and to see the interactions that happen. Quite fun. My low point probably would be, I don't like being mean. I say these things and I put on a good face, but inside I'm like, oh no.
I just had a mental picture of Elmo.
I was gonna say you choose the meanest clan to play.
I know. I don't enjoy. Well, I do and I don't enjoy playing the bitch.
John.
I'm a bad.
I'm not saying a fucking thing. Nope.
Hi, Lord Anam, sir.
Yeah, hi is always playing with everyone, and the interactions and the collaborative story that we're all telling is super fun. That's why I hustled to get here as quick as I could.
Appreciate it.
You made it.
The low for me would just be not being able to be here the whole time. That's one. So I got a very limited view until I go back and watch it of everything that has happened. My nom would be be Annabelle tonight. That was fun. But Major, Tim, Virginia, Sam, Ezekiel, you all had some quips, but I just didn't get to catch enough.
High, low, and anon for me. Pretty easy. High, we got everybody together. Yay! Low, we're taking a break next week, but that's kind of a high too because I need a break. We
don't want you to
gotta
burn
recharge.
out. No.
Got to recharge the storyteller batteries. Annabelle, nice clean sweep for that extra XP there.
Yeah.
Well, like I said in the player chat, I feel like everyone's forgotten that I can role play because I've spent the last month and a half just sitting here smiling and doing nothing. So.
Hey, you've been taking notes.
So low point.
Very fine. You're taking notes. Annabelle, you was taking notes of everybody and everything. So yeah, you're fine.
Low point for me is we didn't get a whole lot of Zeke and Sam this week. So I look forward to that changing over the next couple weeks for vignettes and when we return in game. I want to see what happens. The setup is done. You guys have done all the setup that you could possibly want to do to have a killer session of mayhem and chaos and
now
let the consequences fly.
Yep. And that's why. And this is when we all said bye-bye.
Great job, everyone in the Twitch. Thank you for joining us this week. We really appreciate having you guys out to watch with us and play with us and go along for the ride. Now, I know, Annabelle, you've been dying for some answers on that, but the look on your face, the rage, the consternation when I played Ramona, not having a clue what you were saying was absolutely worth you going through it.
Oh boy. 20 weeks of blue balls led up to
that doesn't mean that she doesn't have answers. That doesn't mean that she was being truthful.
Oh, I will find those answers. I will peel them from her skin.
It was that pardon fucking me face, and I was like, yes, get it.
That was fantastic.
I thought she was ready to reach over.
My kebab hand was twitchy that whole interaction. I'm just saying.
No doubt. So we're gonna take a moment to roll a light PSA that we've put together with our friend Chops, talking about some mental health issues and awareness being mindful of each other as we go through this wonderful pandemic together. How's it? How do they say it? We're remaining together, staying apart. This tool that we have, Twitch TV, YouTube, Zoom, all these wonderful tools.
We stand alone together.
We stand alone together. There you go. Give us the ability to check in on each other and to make sure that we're all doing good. Please love your people and remind them that they're not alone out there in this pandemic and in this isolation, and we're here to help each other. We will see you all after we run our PSA. I'll post a link to our Zoom chat that you can join us for some after stream chat. We'd love to see you all and look forward to vignettes this week. Thank you for the new follows and all that happy jazz. And we'll see you guys after the PSA.